when we bring people in. We had Godsmack on today. We have an attorney with us, John Phillips. Now, he's just not schlocky, okay? This guy, two-time Florida super lawyer, whatever that is.
You have a cape?
Is a cape.
I wish.
Yeah.
And he's selected as one of the top 100 trial lawyers in the entire state of Florida as well. So he knows what he's talking about.
I need a Lex and Terry cape.
He's currently being sued by another lawyer who had the copyright on Super Lawyer.
Yeah.
So D, you had a question?
Yeah, like I said, basically the guy that called up earlier saying he was giving his chick $100 checks for child support. They're not together anymore. And my whole take on that, or from what I've seen, I had a cousin who pretty much had his child from birth till about 10 years old. Then the mother graduated college. Oh, I want my child. Moved away and then put him on child support. Now, he was taking care of this child the whole time.
Right.
They still made him pay back child support.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see what the court, I mean, they didn't have the court involved early. They were just doing it by agreement.
Yeah, he just had the child.
Yeah, I mean, what I would do, any of that situation is have everything in writing, you know, because she can then say, all right, yeah, you paid, but we needed more. And if you have something in writing that says, look, we need you to pay $100 a month, $100 a week, whatever it is, paying $100 a month, you're not paying enough.
Your baby sucks.
Yeah, but you know, if you have an
and you
agreement,
think your baby sucks.
If you have an agreement in writing where you've laid all that stuff out, the court's not going to go back and say, all right, you weren't paying enough if she agreed to it. Now, otherwise, she could say, look, you know, that's what he was giving me. That doesn't mean it was enough. You know, there's just wiggle room. And what you want to do with child support and any of this stuff is, you know, get rid of any wiggle room you can.
I gave some advice to a friend of my son's who's graduating this year. His girlfriend just had a baby. Now they going through the issues of now she don't want to be with him no more. I say, hey, man, you see, I give her half of everything. And he just working a little McDonald's job, getting ready to graduate from school and then go to the military. I say, go put yourself on child support. Do it now.
Right.
Don't let this pile up. Go put yourself on
Have
child
her sign off on it, you know, before the courts get involved, because the courts don't play around with that stuff. You know, they'll start garnishing wages and they'll throw you in jail. I had an NFL athlete that switched to, you know, he retired and he switched to his pension, but he didn't get the child support modified. He wasn't my player at the time, let me say that. But he didn't get the child support modified, and so he got hit with a $500,000 back order for child support because they were still doing the child support from the days of his NFL career, not from his pension.
Ow.
And yeah, and so
and that's a little bit what T.O. is going through, because he even though, you know, he's made a lot of mistakes. He was paying one chick $20,000, one chick $15,000, another chick $10,000. Well, he ain't making that kind of money anymore.
He's not making that kind of money
at all.
His first mistake may have been a guy named Drew Rosenhaus, but that's a whole nother issue.
Or his penis.
Well, yeah, that's mistake number. I think they both one in the same.
I'm not going to blame Drew. I'm not going to blame Drew Rosenhaus for having 4 different chicks you knock up. That's not his fault.
Drew Rosenhaus should be there to help him a little bit. Like, dude, really?
Listen, I just watched that whole episode of Dr. Phil. He doesn't look like a guy you can even talk to. I don't care who you are. He's just like not looking anybody in the eye. You know, he's just kind of like whatever, even though he's had nothing to do with these kids hardly at all.
He was never taught how to be a man.
Super entitlement. Yeah, I mean, you got to think these guys start in high school with this super ego, and then, you know, for a guy like T.O., you know, he was a big deal no matter where he went. He played in small schools. And so
my whole thing is, and single moms can say whatever you want to say, women cannot teach a boy how to be a man, and he was never in the presence of a man. Point blank.
Ocho.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to line 8 here. Reggie, you're on Lex and Terry with John Phillips. Go ahead.
What's up, Gibbers?
Hey, man.
Hey, John, I got my son about 2 years ago. I bought one of those above ground pools from big chain stores. And the way the ladder sits, there's 4 rungs on each side of the ladder, but no platform on top. And as he was getting out of the pool, he fell and broke his arm. I got a lawyer just to cover, you know, the medical costs. Well, I got a certified letter in Friday saying 2 years ago that the lawyer's not going to take the case, and the statute of limitations is up in a month and a half.
Yeah, that's not good. Here's the thing about Georgia. There's 3 different types of negligent liability, and I'll use my 3 licenses. In Alabama, if you're 1% negligent, you don't have a case. In Florida, if you're 1% at fault or 50% at fault, you have a case, and the jury's allowed to just subtract what percent you're at fault. In Georgia, if you're 51% at fault, you don't have a case. And so he's probably made a determination now, way too late in the game, frankly, that it's going to be a tough case because a jury may throw it out because, at some point there is responsibility. How old was your child?
He was 10 at the time.
Okay.
Now, even me, I'm a big guy, but getting in and out of that pool, I really have, because you got to stand on top of the top rung and spin around and go down backwards. Now, even the lawyer said that it's not a safe design. He just didn't have time to pursue it, but I should get another lawyer.
Products liability cases are expensive, and he's just opting out. He's giving you time under the statute. Granted, doing it 2 months beforehand is a little unfair, but it's not legal malpractice yet. That's one that you can give me a call. I practice in Savannah. I've actually got a Savannah office.
Okay.
Give me a call, after the show, and we'll see. I can't say I'm going to take the case, but that's, it's one that I definitely look into.
Good luck.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Above ground pool.
Just
go wash the car.
Run through the sprinkler.
Whatever.
slip,
Above ground
slip
pool.
and slide.
Those things stink. They smell bad.
But there wouldn't be a good funniest home videos without them, so keep it up.
Well, out there, John?
Let's go 7.
7?
Those ones where the side ruptures and takes out little kids sliding into the other neighbor's yard through the jagger bushes is just the best.
Hilarious.
My latest favorite are the people that bust through the trampolines.
Those are good.
Yeah, the trampolines one's good, and people taking wiffle bat facials at pinata parties are pretty good
Those
too.
are always good too. Ben, you're on Lexington with attorney John Phillips. Go ahead.
How you doing this morning, guys?
Good morning.
We're good, sir.
Very
Very
just
legal.
briefly in a nutshell, I was working for a taxi cab company here in Beaufort, South Carolina, Worked with them about a year. Basically, I was a one-man show for these people. I worked like 7 nights a week, 12, 13 hours a night. And just the other morning, I got a phone call from supposedly a new manager and says, look, we're not going to need you no more. You're fired. We're not going to need you. Have a good day. And he hung up. And I have never got a reason why I was terminated from the company. And I'm just wondering what avenues I can pursue. If I can I filed as a independent contractor for my taxes here in South Carolina. So not 1099, but, like I said, a independent contractor. And can I still get them for, unlawful termination, and can I still file unemployment against them?
You can file unemployment. South Carolina, I believe, is an at-will employment state, so they can in most states in the United States, you can be fired for the color of your shirt. They don't have to give you a reason.
Well, he's an independent contractor. They can drop
They can drop him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
with no ramifications. That's why you're one.
So either way, you're kind of goose is cooked there. There's and with you being an independent contractor, depending upon how you're set up, you may not be able to get unemployment because because one business terminates another, it doesn't necessarily qualify for unemployment. But that's a South Carolina lawyer question, and I don't have a license there.
Good luck, dude.
All right.
We had an employee quit and then file for unemployment. Made us laugh.
Yeah, that's not good.
It made us laugh.
Yes.
That's a no bueno.
And also very angry. So, anyway, what else? Another line, Joe. We got calls coming in, by the way. D 866-977-3687. What do you like?
Let's just start from the top again.
Line 1. Tim.
Yeah. Hey, Terry. Question or situation for John. My nephew walked into my bedroom with his hands extended and basically said he was going to effing kill me.
And why was he going to do that?
The whole thing is stupid. I think as far as that's concerned, he was off his medication.
Okay.
That makes sense?
All right, so then what? Then what ensued from there?
The pistol was unloaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes running out of the room, hands in the air. He's going to shoot me. He's going to shoot me. Dialed 911 on the phone, and the cops showed up. And I went off to jail.
Wow.
In Florida, that would be a stand your ground case, the crazy stand your ground law. If you
I guess
shot and
if
killed
there's
him.
a question, my lawyer has got it lowered all the way down to aggravated assault, misdemeanor. Okay? So should I tell him, wait a minute, I'm going to go ahead and take this to trial? Or should I just go with the plea bargain at aggravated assault?
What are they
Does that make sense?
offering? Yeah, it makes sense. What are they offering as far as terms? I mean, people get caught up in the semantics of what you're being charged with and what it is. But I always want to know what's the end result? What probation are you going to get? What jail time? What fine?
As far as I know, according to my lawyer, nothing. And it will actually be expunged from my record 80 days later.
Right. So, I mean, you're getting you always hate for somebody to cop to something they didn't do. And the other question that I would ask is, will the court accept in your instance a no contest plea? There's 3 pleas. There's a guilty, not guilty.
I'm sorry, it's no contest.
Okay. So you're not even admitting to the charges.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's if what happened wasn't right, but it sounds like there's some stuff going on there
Right.
that you may not want to air before a jury, and a judge. A judge may give you a stiffer sentence than that. So
they're going to get into the reason why he came in wanting to kill you.
yeah. So it sounds reasonable to me.
All right.
To be honest with you, it was about putting candles out on the frickin' water because it was the coldest night of the year.
Okay.
On
Whatever.
the water mains that come into the house.
We got it.
And I had already put them out. So,
All right. Well, it sounds like you may be getting off lucky. 80 days, everything's done. All right.
yeah.
Good luck, dude.
All right, man.
We got some really good calls up there, by the way. And one of them I always want to know. Like line 10, I always wanted to know what that means. But we don't have a lot of time to cover it.
Yeah.
Because
That is a good question.
I'm always concerned. So if Patrick can hang on at Fort Walton, we'll get to you. Plus a lot of other things up there like deeds and sex and fights and hookers. It's all good. We got it all, man. So call us. John Phillips is with us right now.
And Lisa up there has a good one, too.
You can find John online. What's your website?
KnowTheLawyer.com. KNOW. Know the lawyer.
For some of these guys,
You'd
got
be
to put it
surprised how
out
many
there.
times I have to spell that.
Yeah,
No, I'm not surprised.
KNOWTheLawyer.com. You can check out John there. Once again, he's a 2-time Florida super lawyer and selected as the top 100 trial lawyers of the state of Florida, and he represents 3 different states right now. So call us, all right?
We'll be back. It's Lex and Terry.